Now, before we jump into the next session, let me talk about that innovation is the backbone of growth. As we all know, the technology continues to be a game changer in the retail space. Our next panel is also titled Innovative and Practical Tech Solutions for Retail Growth. We'll explore how tech-driven strategies can deliver impactful results. Ladies and gentlemen, our next panel discussion is regarding innovative and practical tech solution for retail growth. And for this particular session, I'd like to call upon stage as moderator, Mr. Vikram Bothra, MD and CEO, Chandan Retail Pvt Limited. Please put your hands together for Mr. Vikram Bothra. And allow me to call upon the next panelist. First, we have Head Emerging Business, Amrut Software, Mr. Abhijit Podwal. Please continue with the clap. Up next, CEO and MD, iTech RFID, Mr. Ashim Ashok Patil. Okay. Up next, Partner Deloitte, Mr. Bibekananda Rath. CEO, Indian Silk House Agencies and VCART, Mr. Darshan Dudhoria. COO, City Style, RG's Fashion Private Limited, Mr. Karan Goenka. Can we have some more applause, please? Director, Sri Shivam Attires Private Limited, Mr. Prashant Mantri. Director, and my personal favorite too, Balaram Mullick and Radharaman Mullick. Please welcome Mr. Sudip Mullick. Co-founder, The Yellow Straw, the brand who is always ready to quench our thirst, Mr. Vikram Khinwasara. Welcome all the panelists with lots of energy. And as moderator, we have with us right now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vikram Bothra, MD and CEO, Chandan Retail Pvt Limited. Let's start our second panel discussion of the day, Innovative and Practical Tech Solutions for Retail Growth.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I guess it's been a quite interesting summit which is going on in Calcutta on behalf of Kolkata Retail Summit. I guess we have heard the first panel and then we have seen a couple of presentations. You know, this panel and this topic of discussion is technology. You know, how technology is evolving, how it's, you know, interacting with customers, with retailers, with everybody, every day, at every point of time. I think technology is something which is touching us every moment, at every aspect of what we do and what we not do. And I think since we have a very esteemed and very expert panel with us, I would like, you know, since I would like to start with Vikram. As an F&B retailer, Vikram, and I think first you'll introduce yourself just a minute. As an F&B retailer, Vikram, how do you see technology helping you out? You know, how does tech and innovation has helped you out in terms of building a robust business model, if you can say it?
A very juicy evening to everyone. I'm Vikram from the Yellow Straw. We are into juice and salads bar. We have 17 outlets in Kolkata. And when it comes to tech, it's not a choice for us. It's a very integral part of our business. And in this, our entire business, it's more about the fresh food, and the freshness is the most important part. To manage the freshness quotient, tech is utmost important for us. Just to give you a few examples, so 10 years back when we started the customer interaction, it was more or less face to face. Immediately you can get your feedback, your compliments, comment, everything was on an immediate basis. Now, just after 10 years, or in the current scenario, with the advent of online aggregators, with the social media, you get your feedback on lot many platforms, and you can't miss a single one, especially when it comes to any kind of adverse kind of comment where you need to respond immediately. That is where we find that the tech is the only solution for us, where we can integrate all our social media, feedbacks, and we can, give our response to them. And without response, it's almost impossible. And if we lose our, touch base with our customer, we are losing our business. So that is where we see that the tech, and from day-to-day basis, so even for our SOPs, what we have done, we have implemented few of the softwares where for each and every hour basis, for juice where we have to make in front of our customer, it's not a central kitchen based product where you have to make in front of our customer, everything is fresh. You need to monitor each and every process on a, I would say on an immediate kind of basis. So that is where again tech becomes a very important part for us. So we have implemented one software where from attendance to stock taking to stock replenishment, from the the working culture, everything need to be done through tech only. What is the challenge? So the challenge is definitely with respect to the the kind of employees, and we need to train them. And even for the training, we have taken another software. So the idea is that the more we take software or the more we are tech enabled, it makes our life better. Better for us, better for our employees, better for our customers. So from day-to-day basis, I would say the tech is the only way where we can grow fast. And that is what we are going with.
Great, Vikram. I guess, as Vikram mentioned, that swiftness, quickness, agility, because the kind of industry that he comes from, it's all perishable item. You need to be very upfront with the kind of products that you're making, with your decisions, with your placements and everything. Let's get Sudip on the discussion, because Sudip also shares the same from the same fraternity. Sudip, please, what's your take on tech?
Yeah, like computerization cannot be stopped, and advancement of technology cannot be stopped. AI is the new trend. AI cannot be stopped anymore. You have to be AI enabled every sector. So if a sweet shop is AI enabled and is using AI in manufacturing, in production, forecasting, and then I think slowly it will get into everything, every sector. So now I'm here because I have done I've installed a lot of technology in my manufacturing. Everybody knows that, and since last 20 years, like I've got machineries from all parts of the world, like majorly from Japan, and our production has gone like 100 times. The machineries from Japan has helped me a lot in managing my production, managing my manufacturing. Now I'm getting, I'm the inventor of baked Rasgulla, I would say, and I got a OTG as a gift in my parents' anniversary, and I started baking breads, and then I started baking Rasgulla and all sort of things when I was in my childhood. And when we started selling baked Rasgulla, that same OTG we used initially, and we were producing maybe 100 pieces of Rasgulla a day. Now we are doing 50,000 pieces of Rasgulla per day, and now through a new packaging, I think we will increase that production to maybe 1 lakh to 2 lakh pieces per day. And for that, I'm getting one conveyor oven that is 20 feet long. From that 1 feet of OTG, I'm getting a 20 feet long conveyor oven, and that will make the baked Rasgulla eventually. So technology will take you to different place. Technology has to be there. We have to get in hand with technology and human workforce. Both has to go hand in hand.
I guess Sudip has brought in the most, the hot word, AI. I want to bring Darshan, I was in with him the speakers lounge, and Darshan was telling me something about AI experience. Darshan, please bring in your experience, how AI is helping you.
Vikram, thank you. And first of all, I'd like to, before I get the AI word, let me tell everyone a little bit about our universe. So we right now, our tagline of our company is delivering culture worldwide. So we take intangible and tangible heritage very, very seriously. Our office is now not called an office, but a center of intangible and tangible heritage. What we are doing is we are now the second largest retailer for saris across the country. And our dream and our vision and our mission is around having a sari store in every city of India. So when people say, a lot of people say, shari ke pore, sari is out of fashion. To bring perspective, saris is an 80,000 crore market. 80,000 crore market growing at a CAGR of almost 16%. Now there are many industries which are of that nature in today's retail environment. And right in there, if you realize that, where do you buy saris from? And you'll be surprised that there's barely any organized retail player in the sari business. So with that, when you try to scale and make any business scalable, so right now we are at about 52 stores and we aim to be at 100 stores in the next 6 months. When you're taking scale, adopting any and all forms of technology should be in the center of, I think, all aspirations. What we've done now with AI, very interestingly, is we've removed a lot of our design quotient and put in AI. So I was just telling Vikram a little while ago, not as exciting, Sudip, as your story of your roti ji, but we very recently, so Murshidabad silk is the most popular silk for which, the Europeans looked upon India in the early 1700s. And there's only now one sort of sericulture that is alive, so to say, in Murshidabad, which still has that Murshidabad silk. And we took that small piece of silk, converted them into pocket squares, used AI, and all we said, AI, hey, please generate an image depicting the culture and sentiment of Bengal. And we've done about a line of 20 pocket squares, and which was just a sort of, a pilot experience. And behold, like this is something extraordinary. It tells you a story like you've not heard before. And this is how AI comes in. So, people say that, no, you've taken the jobs away from the designers or you've taken the fun away from designing. But no, hey, before there was Photoshops and Corel Draws of the world, people were doing design in a different way. Software came in, changed how you looked at design. AI comes in, will now change how we look at design. From a retail aspect, we are now building CCTV, we are giving our CCTV feeds into AI algorithms, wherein we now do stock audits through AI. So through our CCTV, we are doing stock audits. We are doing right from footfall to predict, forecasting, all of that, which every obvious retailer would be doing. But the most important thing that I realize in our mission and vision is around giving artisanal empowerment. And you'll be happy in the scheme of any retailer, having technology as the center spread reduces 25% of your wastage. And we don't realize this, but there's a recent, study that was done by the Deloitte, where they said 75% of Indian shoppers now want to connect with brands who are sustainable. So I think it becomes very interesting, and I'd love to talk about sustainability as we go forward, but I think, that's my take on AI, and that's how we should adopt AI. Thank you.
Great. I guess Darshan has, brought in a very interesting and a very new thing about, using how we can foster culture using technology. And, Darshan is setting an example. Karan, I want to bring you, being a multi-branded retailer, coming from, catering to all the aspects of, shoppers in terms of family retailer, how tech is helping you, how does it help in bringing the efficiency, customer engagement? Can you touch on this, please?
Yeah, so we're a value retail chain. We have about 42 showrooms across East India. So for us, the entire life cycle of a product at every single touch point up until the customer not only buys the product but comes back to us, technology is involved. And I think we probably spend most of our time, besides the time we're spending with product, which is a buy and sell, we're spending time on technology. So whether it's forecasting, whether it is identifying what's selling faster or not, whether it is which store should get which product. So I think at every single moment we are leveraging technology. And I think my challenge and our conversation every day in the office today is how we're not doing it enough. Because the more we do it, the more benefit we see. I think the most important piece of technology is to help you scale. So let's say when we were at 15, 20 stores, maybe we didn't need technology as much because a lot of the information was available to us very easily. Today already at 42 stores, we plan most of our inventory. Anything and everything you want to know, you require technology to leverage it. We talk about AI, so we are using AI. We haven't used AI for forecasting yet. I'm hoping that we can implement that soon. But we use that for creatives already. And I think it's actually made the life a lot simpler. So our designers are quite happy. They're actually happier that now there is AI which they can use for some creative independency, doing things differently than being unhappy about it. The more reports that we have, the more dashboards that we use, all the teams everywhere, the productivity has gone up. Because earlier you were spending time creating data. Now analyze data, sorted data is coming to you, now you just have to analyze it, right? So I think we've all become a lot more efficient. I think across generations, even people who, let's say, have been in the industry for 25, 30 years now, are now seeing the value of using technology. I think they've become more open-ended. I think 5 years ago, there was still some concern, nahi, hum to aise hi karenge. Now everyone's more and more open, okay, what more can be done? And if we don't use technology, I think we won't survive across any aspect, whether it's identifying customer insights. So as he said about CCTV monitoring, so now you can actually see which customer is spending how much time in each section. So you're not just relying on sale data, but you're also relying on, heat mapping is very easily available. Footfalls are obviously very, very basic. So I think the deeper you go, the more we can do with technology as retailers, as well as manufacturers. So I think sky is the limit. The challenge is now identifying what technology to use. I think the struggle now is there is so much that can be done. So I think the gentleman earlier came up and you spoke about a lot of things that can be done. So now the challenge is I can spend my entire day just evaluating technology. What do I want to do next? So now it's about being crisper on what the problem statement is. So a year ago we had a similar conversation on this panel about technology. I think now it's about what is the problem statement and then leveraging technology to solve that problem statement, as opposed to meeting 20 different vendors with 20 different softwares. I think we have to become crisper with what exactly we want to solve, and that can be done.
Great. I guess, Karan, because technology is all about data, as we all know, and the amount of data which we live every minute, every moment is huge, and it's going to increase from now on. It's not going to decrease. So as Karan said, that we need to select the right technology. There are a lot of them, but which is the right for you should be the key. I want to bring Prashant, because Prashant comes from the same fraternity, multi-brand retail. Is data troubling you or making your life simpler?
No, definitely data makes life simpler.
Okay.
And I like to add to what here our friend said. Very rightly when you put it across that we need to identify a problem statement and then we need to find a solution which is very specific to what our requirement is. So when we talk about technology, most of the time what happens is we always talk about bigger things like ERP or a CRM or a HRMS or some application like that which can be of a global use to probably any industry, I'll say. But there are very small requirements also, which can be very specific to your business or your way of doing things. So I'll give you one example, few things that we did. We did a very small mobile-based application. We have our in-house development team. We have hired people, of course, in terms of consulting. And we did a very small mobile-based application wherein we have given all our sales staff application wherein they can search for any product. In case if it is not available with them, they'll search for any product and immediately they'll get to know that where is that stock available in the nearby store or in the warehouse or anywhere. And they can, based on that, they can give the customer commitment that within 3 days, 2 days or whatever timeline, they can get their product. Similarly, we are using application in terms of ensuring that customer service is, in terms of, we do a lot of sari and lehenga for that matter. Yeah. So we do a lot of services also. So every sari that is sold, we have to do it a fall pico polish. Every lehenga that is sold has to be altered. Every suit sherwani that is sold has to be altered. So those alteration management along with the time, that its visibility is there with the tailor as well, dispatch delivery team as well. So that is taken care by a in-house developed software. So that is needed. So a lot of application that is very specific to your need, might not be available in the market, has also to be developed in case if you want. Yeah.
Great. I guess enhancing serviceability. This is what Prashant was mentioning about. That, you know, you can use technology. You can use technology to, you know, analyze data, analyze everything. But can that analysis help you to really implement that on the ground in terms of improving your serviceability? Nice point. Vivek, I want to bring you into the discussion. You know, how do you feel that what has gone into retail industry in terms of tech being 10 years back, now and future? So if you can share your experience, your research, your analysis as to how tech would now lead us into future, retail tech into future, and how gonna retailers evolve themselves as a more efficient and a prudent one.
Sure. Thanks, Vikram. I'll skip my introduction because I just did that a few minutes back. But to your point about what we are doing today or what we have been doing or enterprises have been doing traditionally with respect to customer engagement across omni-channel, right? Briefly, I spoke, you know, some of the points, but on a broad level, you know, starting with, you know, 6 different pillars, I would say. You have sales, you have commerce. When you talk about sales, it's POS machines. You have e-commerce websites. And then the second one is you have service, omni-channel service, be it through social media feedback to any other channels, right? The third is with respect to data. Data, as I mentioned, from you have a lot of touch points, right? And you are generating a lot of data. Data remaining in those silos does not help you achieve the objective, right? So it needs to work for you. So, you know, having the right technology wherein you can source all of this data from those point of generation to an assimilation and then getting that insight for you, not just on a, you know, trend, predictive, and leveraging GenAI technologies to give you, you know, generative insight as to what you would not think, but that system will give that insight to you. Then the fourth point would be with respect to supply chain, be it with respect to vendor management, to your, you know, inventory management kind of activities. And if your go-to-market is through a partner or a channel partner, right, having a dealer management engagement platform, that would be something that we have seen customers focusing or investing on. And last but not the least, on marketing and content management, because end of the day, when you have to talk about B2C engagement, you cannot do without you know, good marketing solutions. It has to be, you know, where you have your loyalty, you have your schemes, all of that generated, but to get it to your, you know, right consumer, you need to have an effective marketing platform and a right content generation platform. So these are what we have seen traditionally, you know, enterprises leveraging. To your point about, you know, what we are seeing going forward, and again, leveraging technology to solve specific business problems. One, I would cite example is that in digital commerce, you would have seen a lot of returns happening, right? So what, you know, a lot of, you know, digital commerce players have done is called as digital twinning. You've heard that, right? So if you've seen Amazon and a couple of other sites, when you're buying a product, you get a digital twin. When we say twin, it's almost, you know, there is no real definition of twinning, but to the extent possible, you make that product visible through a digital channel, and then to the extent that you can actually see that product in your room, right? That actually has helped the e-commerce platforms reduce their actual returns, right? So that was a problem statement, and they leverage technology to reduce the number of returns. So that's one way of leveraging technology. They can use AR, VR solutions to basically have a virtual store, walk through to select the product, and then get it. We have seen traditional way of, if you have a connect with the store, you call them over WhatsApp, they do a video, walk through of the store, and then you pick up. But then you can have an AR, VR view, more, professional way of doing it, and then selecting your products. So some of these solutions have actually helped reduce the number of returns from, digital commerce. That's one, problem statement and solution. The second, what I'm currently working with one of the large manufacturing companies, that they probably are kind of, own 60% of the market with respect to switch gears. And what is happening is that, with having that monopoly in the market, there is spurious products and all of that. So how do you solve that problem leveraging technology? So we are working with them to, tag a product from the concept stage till it is consumed. From conceptual stage, it goes to product, assembly, manufacturing to assembly line, to your, channel partners, from channel partners to retailers, and from retailers to end consumer. So how do you track the product across the entire journey or the life cycle, right? Through one particular QR code. And so that's, kind of the ask. But then how it helps, when you're having that kind of a traceability of that product life cycle, it actually helps you get the data. First of all, when you're ordering a product, you know the ETA for that delivery of the product. Second, when you used to give schemes to the channel partners or retailers, right? So typically, you'll have applications that give you, okay, if you buy 10 products, you get this kind of solutions. We are trying to cut all of that. It's just that when you get that product, you scan the QR code, all that benefit of schemes, loyalty, all of that is available to you right at the moment when you just scan the QR code and cut the entire cycle of logging to the application, to logging to the website, the dealer engagement, the channel partner to retail or in-store. All of that you can cut just by the product scan, and everything gets stored. So those are two examples I thought I will share with you.
Great. Let's, Vijay, I would like to bring you into the discussion, something a little different. How do you think, we've been discussing that, retailers are doing, increasing serviceability, increasing efficiency, increasing customer engagement, using technology in different formats, trying to solve their set of problems. What is the index of adaptability of technology as a system integrator? What are the points that you feel when you approach a retailer, educate him that, hey, technology, you get to adapt this technology, implement it, and run it successfully? So what are the points that you find that where Indian retailers at large is facing?
We are into ITSM, project management, customer experience, and a whole lot of gamut of technology. The points rather that I could take from this panel, and what I have to suggest to the retailers is, the first thing first is wake up baby, it's SaaS, right? Initially retailers were not tech savvy, reason being they were always used to look into the cost. When acha mujhe ye software lena hai, I need to buy servers, right? Now that is not a case, right? So you have a data center out there which literally reduces your cost. I mean, your cost is negligible, right? Point number two is in the last 7 to 8 years, from a complete say no to a technology to partially yes to a technology right now. Reason being I'm saying partially, because going back to one of the quotes, of my favorite investor mentor, Warren Buffett, is price is what you pay, and the value is what you get, right? I mean, today I go to any retailer, the first thing that they ask me, kitne ka, just like a Maruti ad, which you told me a couple of minutes back, right? Kitna degi. So let's try and understand, every business, be it organized, be it unorganized, there is some sort of a process, right? For an organized, we heard, from our respective panelists, over here. But when you go to unorganized also, right? I don't know how many of you know this business called as, Angadiya. It's very common in Mumbai, in Gujarat, wherein they are money lenders, right? They have a flawless process. Coming back to the retail side of the word, everything has to have a process, which retailers now are, understanding the value of it. In the morning, I heard, Kumar saying speed and innovation. That is what we as consultant or as a system integrator, SI, come in the picture, right? When we sit with the retailers, which initially, 7 years back, it was a complete denial. Why should I pay for a software when I have an Excel file and I have a Microsoft and probably I have a Google Suite, right? But now to track, to manage, to monitor, you need to have a dedicated system. So what we do as a company is, today we've got this wonderful product which is doing really great. It's called as Monday.com. Great UI, and that being said, we are relating this to the next workforce, which is, the later part of millennials and the early part of Gen Z. Today you go and give a system to a particular employee in your company who's a 20 odd, let's say 23, 24, just out of college, and he sees at a typical SAP, I'm sorry, don't quote me on this, a typical system which is typically white and blue, he'll get bored. He needs to add some color to it. So that is something, a UI is really that we are working with retailers. And last but not the least, I would like to cite an example over here of this particular product that we've got here in the market, Monday.com. So we worked with a QSR, McDonald's in Australia, and for one campaign, they used to share 750 plus emails to launch one campaign, within different departments, their content, their catalog, their creatives, and so on and so forth. By deploying this particular tool, the total mails, you'll be surprised that currently McDonald's shares for one campaign is not more than 55 to 60. So that's kind of the value that the product really gives you. And that evolves to the entire experience, which we call is that an employee experience, which generally gets hidden because most of the guys are focused on the customer experience. But people forget that your employee experience is as important as your customer experience. So yeah, those are views from the tech side. Thank you.
Great. I guess we heard it from Vijay that technology comes with a price tag. It's not that it's free. Darshan, I would like to bring you into the discussion regarding taking the cue from Abhijit's point. So since you have been sharing about AI and you have been sharing about how you have used technology to your advantage, how do you see that going ahead, is price being a little deterrent to adopting new technologies, or that's gonna fade away as we progress ahead? How do you see evolving with the price eating?
Vikram, very interesting point on pricing. And before I, again, to give context to that word price, I think it's all a function of what you want and what you want to achieve. So if I have 5 large stores versus 500 small stores, I look at technology very differently. If so over here, I think it's very important to first see what is the need and what is the leveraging point that technology will be used for. Like in our case, we are into sarees, as I said, and how do you bring technology into sarees? So what we did is we are getting robotics into sarees. What we are doing is we are building these X-ray machines through which every product can pass, and the machine can actually understand and read the design of the body, the border, the color, and accordingly it can place and label the product as to the need of the store. So this works for us. This is an expensive technology. This is a super expensive technology. This works for us because the scale at which we want to grow and where we are, where you probably have to take in 5,000 new SKUs every day into the system, we look at pricing in a certain manner. On the second hand, we are building this very interesting platform where we are connecting artisans. So again, to give you perspective, there is about 7 million registered, about 70 lakh registered artisans across India. There is, Ministry of Textile says there's data that 68% don't even have market access, right? And here we consider ourselves to be flag bearers and custodians of art and weaving techniques and craft forms across India. So herein what becomes very important for us is to give clear market access. And how do you do that? So we've built a platform for every artisan where they themselves can log in, they can see where their product is in which store, how that product is doing in that store, and whether that needs further replenishment or not. So while we are doing it, of course, again, it's a very expensive technology. Why are we doing it? So I think that why is the biggest factor. And Ram Babu's Dukan may not want to integrate technology because he's got everything in his fingertips, and we don't need to. And over here, but again, I strongly feel and I advocate always for sustainable practices. And my one, while we've got such an august audience and this panel too, I would love to share a thought process on sustainability. So I strongly feel that sustainability is one practice where you do a particular thing which causes bare minimum impact on the ecosystem around you. And with that single mindset, if we work, because today, and I strongly again advocate this, that gone are those days where you're just, there's buy and sell, and now you've got technology, so now you know how to buy and sell a little smarter, and you've got all data in your fingerprints. I think those are again yesteryears that have happened. But what is the cause of what you're doing? And that till the time is not addressed, and therein if you can leverage technology is, I think, how we look at the future of technology. Vikram, sorry I can keep talking about it, but I would give the mic back to you, please.
It's a great insight that you have given. Karan, fashion, as we say, it's the most spoiled, category in terms of, using technology. You've got those e-commerce people coming in, selling fashion. Being an offline retailer, brick and mortar retailer, how do you see that, hybridization would be the key? How can you coexist with online retailer, use technology to your advantage, and be in hybrid? I mean, you can adapt to your play.
So I'm a firm believer that online retailers are here to stay, offline retailers are here to stay, omni retailers are here to stay. I think the India growth story, the global growth story in terms of consumption has enough space for everybody. So I'm not ever going to be in a debate of whether online, offline. I don't think that's the case. I think we have lots to learn from each other. I think with online what we have to learn is agility. I think the speed at which they're able to do things is absolutely incredible. I think some of these D2C brands, the way they are functioning of bringing streetwear and fashion right from design to stores or design to the customer, right? The customer doesn't care. The customer wants fashion. He or she should be able to get it as soon as they can. So I think that's big learning for us also in terms of, let's say, product development, where earlier we weren't as fashion oriented or fashion centric as we have become now, because that's the need of the hour. I think even our customer, irrespective of the price point, now wants fashion. So now you'll see across the country people are wearing loose fit clothes. You'll see across the country people wearing drop shoulder oversized garments, irrespective of the pocket size. It may have started 2 years ago in Bombay where only people who could afford a 2,000 rupee t-shirt could buy it. But now even a customer who can afford 300 rupees wants that, right? So I think all of us need to figure that out. Now where does technology come in? Currently for people who are planning products, the life cycle or timeline could be from 90 days to 150 days. From design till the time it comes to their respective stores. I think that's one big place of product life cycle where technology needs to come in. So now you have organizations like Zedwork and a few others, Moglix to name a few, who are now coming in and saying, we don't understand product, we understand efficiency. You want a product in 65 days, from design to samples getting approved to product coming into you, we will give it to you in 65 days. Which manufacturer we get it from, how we do it doesn't matter, you will get it, and we will charge you a 5%, 10% premium for it. For example, a year and a half ago, was I interested in that? No. because we're a value retailer, margins are very sharp. But now if that guy is coming and telling me in 60 days from design to delivery, he'll give it to me, from ideation, I'm like, okay, maybe 10% of my store is a fashion store, I'm interested, right? So I think there is a lot to learn. I think all of us, we might understand product, we might know the best place to source, but our ways of manufacturing, most of our vendors, their way of manufacturing in today's time and age is slow. The reason why Zudio is doing so well in terms of fashion, or what Zara can do, is because of the amount of time they take from design to the drop at the store, right? So I think there is a lot that needs to be done there. A lot of us are focused on the front end in using technology and reports and analysis, but the product life cycle piece, I think, is a big play, which maybe e-commerce companies are doing better than us, maybe some other companies are doing better than us. That's a big place for us to improve.
Great, I guess. Vikram, I would like to bring your perspective into how do you see in your industry hybrid applications of technology? Can you, there's food aggregators like Zomato, Swiggy, and then there are, this thing, offline food thing. How do you see hybrid applications coexisting together, and your perspective on that?
So if you have asked me a few years back, I would have always said we don't need them. But today, I must say they are the necessary evils. On a lighter note, I must say that. So I think the kind of growth what these online aggregators can give to the F&B brands means we cannot undermine that. We need them, they need us, so that is what it is so rightly quoted by him. So it is not that anyone can survive, but yes, it's the mutual understanding or the mutual cohesiveness which will give this industry I would say, greater leap of growth. And so when it comes to, this entire discussion about tech and innovation, I must say, this is not the era what we are into. It is not about if or but. It is more like it's a part of your industry. And when it comes to hybrid model, most of the industry, means each and every industry which was into the unorganized mode, I would say the future is all about most of this industry will get into the organized model only. If you see our juice industry or the, I would say F&B industry, most of these, the street vendor, most of them are getting into the organized players. So what juice, when we started, there was no one in this industry, means I would say even across India. I would like to share one of a very interesting, when we just thought we will get into juice industry, we always wanted to come out with something very innovative, what kind of innovation we do. And when innovation, it doesn't mean we have to create something new. For us, innovation is how we can improvise the current, the technology or current process where it can be more customer-centric. Globally, there was cold press was taking craze, and there was not even a single player in India. So that is what I want to say. You don't have to create something new, but how you can embrace the new technology, and you just need to embrace them. So with the social media or anything like that, I would say the embracing is more important. Going with the trend is more important, and same with, again, coming back to your question, online aggregators and the offline, both will go hand in hand, and the more we get compatible, the better our future would be.
Great. I guess let's bring something new. Personalization, and we have been hearing that personalization is the key. The customers day by day, they want curated service, they want curated products. Sudip, I want to bring you, how are you using technology to provide personalization in your offering? If you can share some light on that.
So I have to tell you a bit of preview. Like he said, every technology has to be user friendly. So implementing technology in my organization was a big challenge. Most of the sweet shops here in Kolkata, in Bengali sweet shop rather, they are still they're reluctant to use technology because it is difficult to implement. The kind of staff, the kind of artisan people who we are working with, they are not eager to use those technologies. So choosing the right technology is also, right software is also a challenge. I have chosen, I've discarded many software, I've implemented them and discarded them. Then at the end, we have developed our own software, and where I got the success. And also scalability, what scale you want to, if I am a standalone shop, like he said, Ram Babu shop cannot, may not afford the software, but Balaram is at a point where we can afford some softwares, and we are doing it. We have installed ERP, and we are every aspect from the entry of raw material to production. We are now knitting every aspect of technology, that this much of raw material comes, so we will produce this much of sweets. Our SKUs are too much, like 250 items any time in the counter. So it's a bit difficult, but still we are trying to do. And then what we have done recently, I've been to Japan many a times. So everywhere there is no cashier there in any of the stores in Japan, be it sweet shop or be it 7-Eleven. You have to put your own cash and get your cash back. You can also pay through online. But the cash vending is still not there in India. It is very, very in a bad state, I would say, because the notes may not, all the time it will stuck. It will get stuck inside, and this is happening. But in Japan, it is everywhere. So I have got a machine. I've installed in my Sector 5 store that also vend. I want to obliterate the cashier system that Japan has done very successfully. So yeah, vending of cash. So that is a new technology I've implemented recently, and our billing technology has been totally different from any other store in Calcutta, any other company in Calcutta. It's like you have tabs in every counter, and there's RFID cards, and you just have to carry the RFID card to the cashier, and he gets all the information what you have bought in the store. So this type of technology we are implementing, and every day it's a challenge to implement this technology. It has to be user friendly and like employee friendly also. So the first resistance they gave that we don't know computer, I cannot function in this. So I said this is something that is like your mobile. If you can use your mobile, you have to use this. Otherwise, I will take your mobile while you enter the shop. And they started using the technology.
Great. Prashant, I'd like to take your insight on how technology has helped you to achieve higher operational efficiency and improve your customer experience at your store. How have customers started to love you more than ever?
So, just yeah. So, as I told you, so I am a firm believer of very small solutions, but very specific, as in of what is needed in your business, or in probably, as he said, rightly said, that your team is your team. It cannot go anywhere. So if they are not very tech friendly, if they are not very easy on with few softwares, then you have to get rid of those softwares. So you have to build a simpler solution which they can use easily. So what we did is we have, I am sure that a lot of people do. So we have implemented a easier, very Excel based auto shuffling application, wherein we do auto shuffling, and then whatever we need to shuffle and move from one place to another, that moves goes to their WhatsApp number, and then they can easily move from their store, and it's very well communicated to the ground level team. So that is one thing which we have done. Secondly, you can search for the stock, and any style code, any size, any color that you want, you can search and you can easily get the availability across the channels. Then third is in terms of services. So all our customers, they just have to give their either their number or their vendor slip, the slip, alteration slip that we give them, number, and they can easily get to know their status update of where their alteration is. So most of our product in our business, we are in fashion retail business, needs alteration. So more than 40% of our products goes through alterations. So they get easily access to what the status is. And we have ensured that earlier we used to have 80-85% on time alteration and services, which has gone to more than 95 now. So nobody comes back to us saying कि मेरा time पे नहीं हुआ complete. So that ways people have started believing more on us. And in case if and it also looks like a customer service. In case if somebody walks into your store and if there is a size which is not available for this guy, but he wants that product, and I'll say कि मैं आपको मंगा के दे देता हूँ, तो he thinks कि he is doing it for me. So that way customers are liking it better, us better because of that technology.
Great. I guess we have heard the panelists. With the time running out, we've just got a couple of minutes left. We've heard that our speakers touching on agility, efficiency, serviceability, using AI and technology. I mean, just a quick summary, starting with Abhijit. How do you think technology is going to help us in terms of creating the best of all? Operational efficiency, customer experience, hybridization, everything. What's your take on that? A quick recap.
I wish I could know the answer for this. But you know, it's quite complex looking at the pace that technology is growing. So today's narrative is AI, right? So in the AI world, there are 3 stages. That is what, you know, we do go through these articles and discussions. Right now you're at Gen AI, that's a generative AI, right? The next level is ASI, which is artificial super intelligence, right? And the father of all is AGI, which is your artificial general intelligence, right? So when I look at technology, it's quite complex and confusing to any person, every person thinking beyond what it can achieve. I'll just give you a very 2 examples on a very lighter note. On a very lighter note, it's a Friday evening. I'm sure the weekend has begun now for most of us, right? In this room and outside. So there are these 2 marketplaces who I was consulting. They wanted to know the, you know, the life cycle that we discussed, you know, how the customer behaves basically in different channels, different platforms. And it so happened that they got one query, rather one of the customer experience head, you know, she mentioned this, Abhijit, that we had a customer, there was a complaint. It was very weird. So I said, okay, let's discuss it out. So the customer is going to sue us on the privacy. So I said, why? So apparently the customer had a fling with his secretary, yeah, and he had given her access of the marketplace account. Apparently none in the family members knew about this fling, and a notification pops up about Victoria's Secret, right? And it's been caught by the daughter of this exec. Now he's a big guy in the industry, right? So few things like these, you know, it's a sword, it's a double-edged sword, wherein can really technology help you in the right way, and how it can help you to maintain your privacy is something that we should be looking into. So machine learning is what we have been doing for last 16, 17 years, is, you know, that really we want that openness to come from the Indian retail forum side of the world, wherein we need some access from you under the data and the privacy law. So yeah, to sum it up, it's just a wait and a watch game, because again, it really depends on your adoption, number one, as most of the guys just mentioned, right? He had a software wherein he shut down, then he started his organic, right? Then there was some action that was taken, because of which it was mandatory for the employee to use it. So probably is that something that, you know, most of the retailers can use it, right? So yeah, more or less that would be my inputs. Thank
Great.
you.
Vivek, your closing remarks.
Sure. So very short and sweet. Technology will evolve, consumer behavior will evolve. what will be more relevant is, retailers, enterprises choosing technology solutions which are fit for purpose. We heard, they don't want large, big solutions. They want more Excels and all that. Having a, Kirana store popping up on the Google map or a Map My India, right? That's also technology. Leveraging Excel is a technology. Leveraging GenAI is also technology. Need to figure out what works best for you and the most cost-effective one. So that should be the mantra. And that's how, you adapt to technology and consumer behavior. But being a technical, technology consultant, I would say perceive the solutions or the technology solutions that you implement also as living systems. Because what happens is that in the quest of leveraging the best of the breed solutions, and we just implement it, we don't nurture them. Because what happens is that when you implement, you try to scale business and you customize some of the solutions, you accrue a lot of tech debt. And then the cost of implementing technology becomes very heavy and the ROI diminishes. So think of these as living systems and optimize, do health checks on these systems, and if it is not relevant, switch the systems.
Great. Darshan, your final insights.
So again, we are retailers here, right? So we are not hardcore techies sitting and building our narratives. We are as retailers, there's one simple golden mantra: customer is king, right? So at the back end, whatever you're doing with tech, you're doing, which is fine. I strongly feel that tech has to be leveraged on the front end. So in again, our ecosystem, what we've tried to do is use blockchain for authenticity. Now for saris, you can actually sell a 500 rupee sari for 5,000 rupees. If I don't tell you the right details of the product, and it's very difficult now to actually find that out. To win customer trust, to win that faith of the customer, it's very important to leverage on the information you're providing to the customers and the experience you're giving. We are developing these very interesting gloves through which you can, to our regular customers who are not, in India, where they can actually touch and feel a fabric. These are little things where I think would be, again, the future and how we look at technology. And at the end of the day, till the time you can do, business in a fair way, give the right information, customers are here to stay, and they're going to, as Karan mentioned, that the market is too big for, new players not to come and thrive. So there's enough of a market. Right principles, right foundations, using tech, leveraging it in the right way is the future. And I think tradition and technology have already met, and they will continue to meet. Vikram, thank you.
Karan.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would like to add is implementing technology is one thing, but actually using it is another thing altogether. I think a lot of us are using, trying different ideas, but are we actually then taking that data out and making decisions basis that, or are we still using our gut or our experience, for example? So I think if all of us can focus on, one, what is the problem statement, find some solution for it, and then actually act using the solution. So I think, at least in my experience, there have been times where we're using certain technology, we have processes in place, we have CRMs, but then are we actually leveraging it to extract the best and to become more efficient? I don't think we are, at least for us at all times. So I think that's the biggest, most important piece. There's low-hanging fruit. Are we plucking it?
Great. Prashant, your closing remarks.
Just to add to your point, CRM is one thing wherein you will never get satisfied. So you'll always feel that I could have done better for my customers and I could have called them better. So made them come more frequently to my stores. So that will always happen like that. My only take is that we should have a simpler solutions, easy to use, immediately usable, and which people in our team can easily adapt to. So let's look at simpler solutions, and of course bigger ERPs and CRMs and HRMs of the world are already there. So you can use them for your bigger things.
Great. Your final remarks.
So I would say technology is evolving, always evolving, and as you said, that is a living thing. You have to take it as a living thing, a workforce. So if you stuck with one technology and you don't evolve, you don't add up anything to it, then I think you will you will lose at the game. And I think every month there is something new coming up, new addition. Every day, rather, something new is coming up. And if you evolve, and then your people will also know that you are not going to stop where you are. Something new is going to come, and then it will make your life easier. Growth, you cannot, now is the time you cannot grow without technology, I would say.
Vikram, your closing remarks.
So what we firmly believe, it is not the survival of the fittest, it is the survival of the adapters. Whoever will be more adaptive to the new tech will be able to grow faster. So if you see tech, it is prevalent everywhere, it is omnipresent. From chai wala to sabji wala, they are using tech, means UPI or everything. Everyone in this room is using tech. So whoever knows what tech is best for them and taking the full advantage, that is where this adaptive quality of using tech is what the biggest differentiator will be. That's what I think.
Great.
Somebody in the parliament said that will the sabji wala able to use our Paytm system? And now we know what has happened. Everything has changed.
We all know who said it. Okay, so I think we had a very inspiring, very in-depth discussion about how technology gonna help us, and our esteemed panelists, they've shared a lot of key insights, as in terms of personalization, finding the right tech, understanding your problem statement, implementing it in the best possible way, being on toes, being agile. This brings to the end of our discussion, but this also reminds me one very nice statement a great mind told me some time back, that in this yuga of Kali Yuga, technology, no one would be loyal to you except technology. So you got to embrace it the best possible way, because this ever evolving age of competition, you need to make your survival the most. You need to be be there in the slot every time. For that you need data, you need how to analyze it, and to do that you need the right technology in your hands. So thank you all for a very live and interesting discussion. I open this discussion to the house. Any questions anybody would like to ask to our panelists? Got just 1 minute, so couple of questions. Anybody? I guess everybody has understood your thing, so they don't have any questions. Oh, we have one hand.
I really don't want to disappoint you guys. We were actually listening. So one thing, you spoke about the geo location intelligence. And I come from Mapma India. I'm Tanuja Pradhan. And I realized that is the space where I do not see many retailers really taking step forward. So do you have any point of view? Why? Why do you think? Because, I'll just give you one use case. In my recent meeting, we realized that one of the retailer, in terms of count, they thought that they have 1,000 stores in Mumbai, let's say, right? The moment you put it on the map, they realize that all the stores are skewed towards southern Mumbai or northern Mumbai per se. So it is literally just the number, but once you put it, then it becomes the analytics. So that is the area where we as a company also we have set up this company called ClarityX, which is on consulting side of the business. So what is your take on it? Why do you think that location intelligence is still not getting upticked as such? Anybody can answer.
Anybody? Yeah, Karan. Yes.
I'll take that. So I don't think it's the lack of interest or intention to not use it. So incidentally, for this past year, I think I've evaluated at least 5 platforms which have claimed to say that they can help me identify where to open the next store, right? And when I've gone deeper into understanding each of those platforms, the extent of data has primarily just been demographics, right? Just skewed in different ways.
Sure.
So for that, I don't need that platform because that demographic information is available to me. And thanks to Google Maps, if I want to know how many KFCs are around a specific pin code, I can do that today, right? I don't need a specific platform. So I think if there can be more platforms, or maybe we haven't, we're not aware, maybe we're not exposed to more platforms or organizations or tools which can actually give us more relevant information. I think there is more generic information which is available. Where can you open a 5,000 square feet store for retail where there are customers? Yes, a tool is giving me that. But is that relevant for city style? Is that relevant for India Silk House? Is that relevant for a KFC? I think parameters are different. So if you do have a tool, I'd be more than happy to understand and
Good.
definitely leverage it.
Sure. Thanks.
The clock is saying time's up, but now I really want to say that it's been a nice discussion, a big round of applause for our panelists, and they've been great. Thank you all for being such a lovely audience. Thank you.
And thank you for superb moderation. Thank you.